Moving to a new country is often difficult, so I've spoken with someone who has already done it. My friend Daniel moved from Hungary to Germany in 2020. In this video, you'll gain insights from his experiences. My name is David, and I hope you enjoy the video.
I was born in Hungary, and I've been living there for the first 28 years of my life. So I moved here close to 3 years ago.
And how are you finding Germany?
I mean, it's different than what I expected, and Hungary had close ties to Germany throughout history, so I would say there are lots of jokes and stereotypes in the Hungarian culture about Germany. And I found some of them to be true and some of them to be absolutely unfounded.
And what were the ones that surprised you?
I think the biggest myth about Germany in Hungary is Germany being very efficient in everything, and at least in some bureaucratic ways, I found that to be absolutely untrue. For example, like the way they do everything still on mail. I know that in some way they are really, really efficient, and for example, the way I see how they behave at the workplace through my girlfriend is they are really effective and very concentrated on work and nothing else. So that might be the source of this myth.
Do you have a German bank account?
Yes.
Do you have one for fun or because you needed it?
And because we needed it.
What did you need it for?
Because when we moved here, it's like one of the necessary steps to get a flat here.
Okay, for apartment. And you don't have a German phone number?
We do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't use it. Like, we only use it for official.
So you have a third telephone, maybe like a cell phone at the flat, at your apartment?
Just waiting for official calls, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, like when we moved here, we found that it saves up a lot if they, how to say it, like if you look more German than you are. So on your application papers. So I mean, with an email address, they don't know if it's German or not. With a bank account, they see if it's a German bank account or not. With a telephone number, they also see if it's German or not. So like what I think it's important for like flat hunting and job hunting is like you have to look more German than you are.
Nice. So this is a good tip for people. Before you moved to Germany, how much German did you speak? And you can also include your partner in this if you want.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so she speaks much better German than me. I studied German in high school. I wasn't really good at it. And it was at least 10 years ago when we moved here.
So from the point when you moved, it was 10 years since you studied German.
Yes, yeah. So let's say when we moved here, I couldn't really understand or speak much. And now at least what I knew back then has come back, even without much extra learning. But I also feel like I should learn more, but don't feel I have the time or energy for it. So I also, like I said, like at the beginning, you need to look more German than you are. So I always feel awkward when they mistake me for a German.
Okay.
Like they say some stuff in German to me and I don't even understand them.
And what did you do when
I usually answer in English.
So you say like, okay, so is this for apartment searching or when you go into doctor, grocery store, everywhere?
Yeah, like in everyday situations.
Okay, so you're at the I don't know, someone says something to you at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You're walking around and they say something, and what do you do?
Well, I mean, now I understand some of the things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of situations, it's also understandable, like based on the body language of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like, I don't speak a word, but I do what they ask. Like can you leave that stuff from? Like, can you give that stuff to me from the shelf or stuff like that? And I just do them. And like, if they say danke, I just say like, what's the
Gangasheen?
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
like, or like kind problem or something. So like, I act like a mute. And when I feel that I can't solve the situation that way, then I like, sorry, I don't speak German.
Understood. So it's a lot of like surviving through situations based on context, or them pointing or something, and then
if it's like basic stuff, then I can, for example, like when we walk the dog and like somebody else comes and talks about the dogs, then now at least I picked up that vocabulary to explain that, like I mean, it's also context based. Like, they usually like want to either pet the dog or ask about the dog, or like, is it a boy or a girl, or like, is it castrated or not? So I picked those words up, and now I can answer. But
can you walk me through how you moved your entire life to Germany?
Basically, how it worked is, like, for us, it began by, like, we started around, I mean, I don't want to say exact dates, but like, let's say we moved here at one point, and our whole process began about 2 years before that.
2 years preparing?
Yeah.
What were you preparing?
Well, most of it was like saving up.
Money?
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's like a big recommendation for everyone who comes here. You need the 3 months rent for deposit, another 6 months for the actual first month's rent. You need to have some money for, like, buying for first pack of furniture if you're not moving with your furnitures. So, like, that's why you need the money. If you come here without a job, or like, then you also need savings for that too.
Understood. Were you employed?
Well, when we moved here, my girlfriend was already working for a German company. Like, she started when we were still living in Hungary. And when we moved, I had a Hungarian job, and I could continue to do that from here in like remote way. So we both had our jobs. She was like, at first when we were at home, she was working remotely for a German company, and I was going to the office in a Budapest company. When we moved, we just switched, and I was the one that went remote, and she was the one that gone to the office.
Did you stay in Airbnbs, or did you immediately have an apartment offer?
First we came to an Airbnb, and when we moved here, we found out that we couldn't get, I mean, maybe this was our stupidity that we didn't really check with the Airbnb host that we could have done it or not. So anyway, when we first went to an Airbnb, we found out that we couldn't do the Anmeldung there. So, like, we started looking for flats, and then we found out that we would need the actual Anmeldung. So you need the registration first.
So you need this registration to get a bank account?
To get a bank account, you also need a registration to get an Anmeldung.
This,
like, with the Anmeldung is basically the same as the registration, as far as I understand. Then you need a registration also for the Schufa.
Okay, this I didn't know, but and you need a Schufa in order to get a apartment offer probably,
Yeah.
because otherwise they won't trust you.
Yes. Also, it's important to mention that like you need the registration, the house registration, because that's when you get a German tax number.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the things needed to move to Germany, click the link in the description to get help. So then what did you do?
And we could find a hostel or like a hotel where it's allowed to do the registration in.
Interesting.
And you got the Anmeldung. Okay, now we really have to apply for a bank account, for a phone number, for a Schufa. And that took another week, and then we could actually start looking for a flat, like a permanent type of flat.
And was it easy to get an apartment?
Not so. Like we found a good guy.
A good guy?
Yeah, like it's important to know in Germany that you are usually like it's not like for every flat there are several different people who apply, so you have to get lucky and sympathetic to the person who decides. So like we had to go for flat hunting until we got lucky and sympathetic to a guy that was willing to rent it to us. So like long story short, yes.
So now you got an apartment, washing machine, maybe a couch, stuff like this?
No. Well, like we only got the kitchen furniture. The first weekend, like I was bringing our stuff over from the hotel to the flat, and also like going to IKEA to buy at least, like a first, like 2 chairs on the table too.
Understood. And
and then like I mean after the first week, like, and after we bought our first furniture and like we ordered the bed and stuff like that, like I said, we had to save up money for these stuff. So like after months, let's say it kind of normalized, and like we spent some extra. Like we didn't buy every furniture at one, but like getting some small stuff every month or so.
Understood.
Yeah, so like the most important thing is be prepared for the bureaucratic.
Okay.
And second one is to like save up some money if you can to be able to be flexible.
Is there anything else? I don't know, other tasks?
With the dog, the dog also needs a registration. So like when we moved, we also needed to get not a tax number, but like a dog Anmeldung as well. Because like in Berlin you also have to pay taxes after your dog.
Do you feel like an immigrant? Are you an immigrant?
Kind of, yes. I mean, for like the word immigrant, I'm fine with it. Like on Facebook I see lots of people referring themselves to like expats. Like I don't really feel a difference between the two words. And for reasons that like Hungary is pretty close still, so it's like not all of our ties are severed. So I'm not sure I'm like 100% immigrant, but like I don't see myself wanting to go back for longer periods of time. So
was it a good decision to move to Germany?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm 100% sure of that.
Because of financial reasons, or why?
Yes, I mean partially yes. And also, I mean, Hungarian political reasons, I would say.
Do you feel the need to integrate, become more German?
Kind of. I mean, I want to like into German society, maybe not much more than I am now, but I think learning like knowing more German would help. Like, for example, I would want to keep some parts of my Hungarian identity or like culture with me, and pick up some parts of German culture with me. And I'm also influenced by like other cultural stuff, like English books, English movies, even other European language. I mean, I don't speak other European languages, but I read like other books through translation. So like I try to be very open-minded. So I don't feel the need to like pick up a German identity, but I want to pick up some, like, I want to integrate some parts of German identity into my own identity, if that makes sense.
Imagine someone in Hungary and they're considering moving to Germany. You have any advice?
If you can, you better save some money, or like have someone you can borrow from, or like friends or family helping out. That's one. The second one is so for example, you will need to maybe more open-minded when like making new friendships and stuff like that, or like maybe you were very socializing in university or stuff, but I think you will need to be more outgoing in your, like, when you build a new friendships, a new social circle outside of Hungary. And I would say like go forward, because I think it's worth it.
Thanks so much for watching. Let's see. Yep. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm telling them, if you liked the video, if the video helped you, consider supporting on Patreon. Consider donating. If the video helped you, consider donating. If the video helped you, consider donating. I hope you enjoyed the video